Now, tonight, what I want to do, as you can tell from our budget numbers, the state of the city is good. And I've enjoyed being able to serve our residents in this capacity. As you all know, many of you who live in the city or whatever may know, the challenges, however, has been the thing that concern me most is the state of our politics. Sometimes the absolute ugliness that divides us and keeps too many of our residents from wanting to engage in the public discourse of the city. I had a resident recently tell me that they were a little scared to come up here to show any support for me or this administration because they may end up on Facebook page and they have a business and they have a family and they didn't want to get involved in that. And boy, that really pains me that we are at this point. Last week, I put out a video about the need for better politics, not just in our city, but just in general, after yet another killing in Utah based on people's political viewpoints. I was informed about Councilmember Burton's response to my video, in which he unfortunately calls me a liar, stating that I lied to the nation in my presentation of the divisiveness and dangerous nature of our own politics right here in Arcola. And he particularly disagreed with my characterization that I was cursed and threatened in the Arcola parking lot incident in June of this year, suggesting that I was the aggressor and that I assaulted an officer. Given that there's been so much talk about that video, I thought today, I'd allow you all to decide for yourself. After I said my piece, after I've said my piece, I'm happy to leave the future of our city in your hands. But I will say to the residents of Arcola, if we want better for the city of Arcola, we can no longer afford to sit out or allow our voices to be silenced in striving to create a healthier environment.
Yes.
In other words, we can no longer bury our heads in the sand and hope and pray that these issues just go away or that somebody else does the work. We make the necessary choices about how we look going forward, and we need as many of you who will take that stand with us. So I'm going to address these issues in the full light of day, not behind the cloak of anonymity on social media, but straight to the faces of those who constantly call me out and lodge senseless, immature, and potentially dangerous attacks at the staff and officials of our city. So to the staff here at the City of Arcola, to the council, if nobody else will stand, please know that I am your biggest cheerleader, and I will always stand with you. So let's get started. Please be advised that some of the language you may hear may be a little suspect. So first of all, let's say if you want to see the video on my state of politics, it's on our website, and then we have Mayor Burton's response. You can go on his page and see his response.
Well, you can't.
Well, yeah, it's what it said. So here's the video from the parking lot that day. That wasn't shown. What some of you all can't, this video, it's a little grainy, but you know what? At some point, we are going to discuss sending this video to a certified agency for additional forensic audio analysis to clean up some of the extraneous noise. What they didn't want you to see is, you have the video, Chief, the original video where the one that was sent to ABC News and the one that was put out on the web, their rendition of what happened out there, is at the end of it, he doesn't, do you have that one?
I'm trying to pull it up. It wasn't low earlier.
Yeah. At the end of it, well, look, I'll play it for you.
Let me hear my voice.
She come again. Yeah, she come again.
Supposed to be.
She come again.
Went from Maryland, sir, to bring it all your stuff down
There you
here.
go. You got it. Don't give me bill. Don't give me bill. Don't give me bill. Nobody wants to talk to her.
Working together.
I comment in the prison.
Of Arcola.
Got it.
I'll get the citizens off.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you see what we got. Nigga, fuck you.
That part at the end was cut out the video. The expletive that he lodges. So they come in and they want to make this create
Was
this
that-
narrative,
was that my
create this
voice?
narrative that
It wasn't
there was
my
nothing
voice.
going on out here and they were just peacefully in the parking lot. Like I said, what they didn't want to see you is that the state of mind that he was in the entire time. So while Councilmember Burton has stated that neither of them said anything derogatory to me in that parking lot, which is what he stated on ABC News, that clearly was not the case. I have statements from witnesses to who I was talking to just prior to going over to speak to them, who have attested to the fact that I was not angry or anything prior to going over to them. And the only reason I went over to try to talk to them was to find a way to get along for the sake of the city, since Councilmember Burton was going to be seated. Both Councilmember Burton on the news report and Keith Washington on the video knew that I just wanted to talk with them. Both of them stated that they didn't want to talk, as you heard them say, long after the encounter had begun. So to state aloud, I don't want to talk to you implies that I was telling them that I just wanted to talk. Now don't get me wrong, at some point I grew tired of being called a dumb B, the N-word, an effing coon, and an MF. That's the point where he picks up his phone and decides to record, providing a narrative that he wants you all to have. That they were just out there peacefully and I came along as an aggressor. That simply was not the case. As far as me assaulting Sergeant Miller, I'm going to address this head on. I did not do so. I did touch Sergeant Miller with my finger as I was pointing at him, as I was completely rattled by that incident in the parking lot. Although I made a point to stand my ground in the moment. I then went to the first officer I saw, Officer Miller, to report the threat that had been made when Keith Washington said that he kills MFs who cross him. We are all aware. You know what? I'm not going to go to that point right now. But what I will say is this: Keith Washington is the guy that Councilmember Burton has decided to align himself with. Let me give you a little background on Keith Washington. Keith Washington, first of all, is a relative of mine who came to this city seeking a benefit from my administration, and when I told him no, he became upset. He went to my council members and tried to get them to turn and to grant him a contract. When then that didn't work, he got mad and he went to the total opposite side to Mr. Burton, where he found a home. Keith Washington was employed as a Prince George's County police officer who had been detailed to the Prince George's County Department of Homeland Security as a deputy director at that time. Washington was detailed to the DHS on about August 2nd, 2024. Washington's duties at the time were primarily administrative, dealing with obtaining funding and grants for the various public safety agencies of Prince George's County, Maryland. Washington was appointed to the position by Prince George's County Executive Jack Johnson. His prior detail was the executive protection to Jack Johnson. Now, in 2007, Jack Johnson wanted to distance himself from Mr. Washington as a result of an incident that occurred in his home. He decided that, I ain't gonna go through all that. Johnson said that the relationship between himself and Keith Washington was not a personal one, and that he wanted to distance himself from the altercation that happened in his home. And Johnson, he also said that he didn't believe Washington should resume his position as the deputy director. Fast forward to 2011, Jack Johnson, along with a number of other people in his office, were indicted and charged and sent to prison for corruption, for misappropriating funds, fraudulent actions, anyway, millions of dollars dealing with federal funds. Keith Washington wanted me to hire him, wanted me to give a contract with him to do the same thing here at the city of Arcola and grant so that he could write grants and get funds, federal funds for the city of Arcola. I decided not to do so. And so, he went to Mayor Burton, who has wrapped his arms around him. But let me tell you, Mr. Burton, I would caution you as well, because Keith Washington does not play. And just to let you know, Keith Washington doesn't play. He has a message for you too. So what I'm saying, Arcola, is that we need to find a way to, let me just play this for you, since I think I'm connected to this.
This is what we're gonna do. Fred Burton fuck with you, I'm gonna cut his head off.
So you want to sit up and say that I wasn't threatened out in that parking lot? I will put my word up against what you put out there every single day. You said in your ABC 13 news report that nothing happened. They didn't say a word to me. The reason why I decided to bring this stuff all up, y'all, because,
Please.
well, to show number one, you lie every single day, and you put that stuff out there as if it's true. You know, sitting up there saying y'all didn't say anything when you can clearly see that is not what happened in that parking lot. But this is not merely about me and Mr. Burton or me and Keith Washington. This is about them and whomever would sit in this seat. If it were you, you would be the one being attacked today. It's not personal to me. Keith Washington went from supporting me to trying to utilize my council members to go against me, to going all the way to teaming up with Fred Burton. It's not personal. It's a matter of his agenda. And Fred Burton, best be careful as well, like I said, because he has messages for you as well. This is why I was standing up in that parking lot, and why I am standing up today, and why I will continue to stand up for this city. If we get lax and we give them access to the purse strings of this city, what happened 30 years ago in this city and what happened in Maryland over 10 years ago will easily happen in Arcola today. As you see, this city is in great financial position. The funds from the COs that we just received would be a tremendous added benefit for them. So yes, no matter what I need to do to prevent that, I am willing to do. No matter what goes on, we cannot be afraid to have a voice. You cannot be afraid to have a voice. And most importantly, we cannot be afraid to use it. Today, I decided to use mine. And I will continue to do so, because we cannot allow this stuff to threaten our city. So, that is all.
Second.
And you can decide for yourself, residents of Arcola, whether nothing happened in that parking lot, or whether I was, as I said, cursed and threatened in that parking lot. So, there you have it.